Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on the air. It's me and Toaster Damas. We're here to talk about all things post-Mania. Now, last week I had a lot of construction going on. We weren't able to do the podcast, but this week we are back. We're here to discuss all the stuff that we missed the week before. We're here to discuss Mania, Raw after Mania, and Monday Night Raw that just happened,
Lots to talk about.
SmackDowns, everything in WWE, and a little bit of AEW.
Oh
But
man,
I'm sorry, we gotta talk about it just a little bit. All right,
no
we're just
problem.
gonna jump right into it. I'm so glad to be back, Toaster. But let's talk about Mania because it just happened a couple Sundays ago. It was people asked me my thoughts overall. I didn't think it was a terrible show. I'll
No,
just go ahead and right off the bat say that. I saw a lot of people online
well,
complaining about it, and I think sometimes the last match of the show can kind of carry a lot of weight on people's opinion of the entire show, and that's kind of how I feel a little bit about it.
okay.
Again, not a bad show. If we're ranking it 1 to 10, I would give it a I would give it a 6.5 to 7, maybe even 7.5.
Now you're talking about
Somewhere
both
in
shows.
there. Yeah,
You're talking
somewhere in
about
there.
both. You're talking about both.
I'm
Night
talking
one
about
and
both
two.
as a package show together. If we're gonna rate them both at the same time, that's a little bit tougher. I'm gonna say historically though, night one has whipped night two's ass, which is kind of unbelievable. Because
Not this
night
year.
two is your final matches of the entire uh, event and the entire festivity.
Not this
Uh,
year.
yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Mania thoughts. Toastradamus, what did you think of night one? What did you think of night two? What were some of your highlights and what were some of your lowlights?
This to me was a lopsided Mania. I thought night one for a Mania sucked. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I thought night two was very well done for what you got. Um, then again, I'm not saying that everything was bad on night one. The last match was absolutely fantastic. Made a 5-star match. Dave Meltzer gave it, I think. Did he?
What match was that? The main event?
The main event of night one, the
I
triple
don't even
threat
remember
match,
it. What now?
the triple threat match of night one.
That was
CM
the main
Punk,
event?
CM Punk, Reigns, and Rollins.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking of the other triple threat match, the women's triple threat match.
That
Yeah, the
started night
the
two.
triple. Okay, so yeah, I thought that was a fantastic match. That was probably my favorite men's match. Um, but yeah, I would
No, it
say
was great. It was
of night
great.
one, of night
It's
one, that was my favorite men's match.
it saved night one. To me, there was nothing really on night one. There was no great match on night one besides the main event. Besides, to me, in my wife, you think there was another one? I don't think there was one. Great match on night
No,
one.
I'm trying to remember all the match order, man. That you've got a better memory than me because
Oh,
okay,
I
so the
definitely
Rhea Ripley Bianca Belair that was night two, right? And
night two, and that was
Io
that
Sky.
was great,
What a
great.
fantastic women's match that was. That was just I mean, just a fantastic match in general. I don't mean
Yeah.
to put it in a
Um.
box. It was great. It might have been my favorite match of the entire show. Now that triple threat from night one, that was great as well.
That was
What
great.
about the outcome of this with Paul Heyman choosing Seth Rollins over Roman Reigns and CM Punk? What did you think of this?
To be determined. To be determined. It seems as of now, because watching Raw and everything like that, the past couple, as of now, it seems forced. Very forced to me. I don't believe it. I don't
Yeah.
believe that
Yes,
that
and I'm one of the only few that has that opinion. Me and you, I believe, because I
it
would
seems
say
very
the
just like
internet audience as a whole is really, really happy about it. It's like anytime they just see any kind of like drastic turn or swerve,
yeah,
whether it makes sense or not, it seems like the internet gets on board and they absolutely love it. They eat it up. But for me, it's got to make sense story wise. Excuse me. It's got to be organic. This doesn't feel organic.
It doesn't.
Like you
It really
said,
doesn't.
it feels very, very forced. And it's like Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, where's the connection in this? Heyman has always aligned himself most of the time in his WWE run with big, big guys, okay, besides CM Punk, which he obviously has a connection with, who helped him out in Ohio Valley. So there's your connection there. That's why it feels organic. And that's why it feels organic with Roman Reigns, because he's worked with a lot of Roman Reigns' family in the past. So all of that feels organic. There's no connection for me with him and Seth Rollins. Now, that's not to say I'm going to hate all this, because I saw the outcome and I'm like, okay, to be determined, like you said. Where does this go? Why did this happen?
I
Is he
said
investing in the future?
I said to you a few weeks ago that the Cena angle felt forced. Right now, it doesn't. He's doing a good job as a heel, I think. I think he's doing a very
Yeah,
good job. It doesn't seem so forced.
yeah.
But I still haven't seen a big heel yet from Cena. Like, I haven't seen this big, bad heel yet. You
My
know?
only complaint with that, not to like veer off from what we were talking
Yeah,
about, but
sorry.
just kind of like just a quick thought on that is that I just wanted to see what would play out between him and The Rock, the connection, how this came to be, when the offer was made to him. I want to know all the little details. The details are what make a story so special. And
Yeah,
we
man.
didn't get that. That's the only thing we didn't get. He's done a fantastic job on the mic, I think. He's done a fantastic job as a heel. But as far as that story of him turning, we never really got all of the full details. It was just a thing to like, well, we'll get into that later. But yeah, anyways, overall Mania thoughts. I thought night one was meh. I thought night two was good overall as far as
Yeah.
matches.
It felt like a WrestleMania night two. Night two felt like a WrestleMania. You know?
But
The
that main
pump.
event was like one of those, everybody's, oh, it's the worst main event in history. I'm like, no, 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 no. I didn't think it was as bad as people
Me either.
made it out to
Not
be.
at all. Not at
Not
all.
at all, man.
Not at
And the
all.
finish, of course, I didn't hate. The only thing that really took me out of it and made me kind of like, I don't know. It just took me out of the match and the flow of the match was Travis Scott's appearance when his music
Yeah.
came on and he took his time. He came down to ringside the whole time. Cody's supposed to be distracted, or and I mean, he's
I
hurt, he's
just
down. You know what I'm saying? I did not enjoy that part of the match because it took so long to unfold. It felt like I was watching a super cinematic theatrical match rather than a
and
pro wrestling match.
maybe I'm old. Maybe that's what it is. I just don't get. I don't get it. I don't get the guy. I don't care for the guy. I don't need to see him on my television. He brings nothing to the table.
Yeah.
Nothing. Even as a heel, he does nothing.
Well,
He
I
does
think
nothing but
that's what
comes
they
out.
were trying to do was appease a fan like yourself and me, by having him, get his receipt from Cody Rhodes with the
And that didn't happen.
Crossroads. I mean, I pop for it a little bit because I
Yeah.
don't really enjoy his music. I don't like it. Beep, beep, beep. That shit got on my nerves. That I can, if I never hear that song again, it'll be too soon. Okay, they played that out like crazy. Am I the only one? Come
No, can
on,
we please go
just
back to
saying.
some rock music once? Can we go back to some kind of rock music for WrestleMania? It's been like 10 freaking years, maybe
Yeah,
more.
they play these weekend songs, man, and I'm
Oh
like,
my
hey,
God.
he's fine or whatever. I'm not into that kind of genre,
Oh,
but it's fine. But it
horrible.
does not go with professional wrestling. I don't know. All right, we're
Whatever.
going off on old man rants now.
Good.
But
Get off my
overall,
lawn.
main event okay, Mania okay. All right. Um, it was just okay overall as a WrestleMania. If you want to combine night one
Oh,
and night
wait,
two,
wait, wait. What'd you think of Joe Hendry?
what did I think of Joe Henry? I
As
thought
as the
it
guy.
made it made TNA look like a junior league. I thought it was wasted. Um, yeah, it made Joe Henry look like a joke. That's my opinion. It made TNA look like a joke.
To me, Joe Henry is a
But
joke, though.
okay, well, he is a comedic wrestler,
That's
whatever
what
you
I'm
can say.
saying. You got.
I'm not the biggest fan of Joe Henry. I'm
You want to
looking
be a
at it
comedy
like,
act? That's what you get. You want to be a comedy act? That's what you get. You get destroyed by Randy Orton.
but this comedy act is how he got over. That's
That's
how
fine.
he.
That's fine. Comedy acts shouldn't be world champions.
I don't know. He's pretty big time over, and I'm not even a Joe Henry fan, to be honest with you.
He
So
is over.
that is debatable. That is
He is.
arguable.
You know who else was over? Santino was over.
Santino Morello, he's there too.
He
He's their
was over
GM.
too. You gonna make him world
Their
champion
GM.
too? You know, like no.
I
Sorry,
don't
I
know.
don't get it.
I've seen him do elements of realism. The guy is big. He's jacked. He's strong.
Good for him.
I get it or whatever. That's what I mean. Like it's not my cup of tea, but I get it. I get why the fans like him or whatever. But
I don't hate him.
to me, this is an overall thought. I think WWE is when they've bought AAA, which we have yet to talk about, and then they're flirting with TNA and other organizations like NWA. They're trying to put them in that box and be like, "This is the show, MLB, the show. We'll steal something from baseball. MLB, the show. To get to the show, you've got to go through college baseball. You've got to go through double
Right.
A, single A, triple A, and then you might get a call to the show, MLB. Now, in wrestling terms, the show would be WWE, correct?
Of course.
Single A would be the lower indies, I would say.
Evolve.
Triple A would be what they're trying to create would be NXT, TNA, Triple A.
Yes.
And why do I say this? Because you're doing a Worlds Collide show with the AAA roster and NXT roster. You're doing shows with TNA, but with your NXT roster. I'm not complaining. I love the creativity. I love the whole forbidden door, which I hate that fucking term. But it's fine. It's fine. But you're also telling your audience AAA and TNA is not on the WWE's level. They're not the show. They might be double A, they might be triple A, but they're not the show.
It's true though.
Am I correct?
But it's true. They're not the show.
Yeah,
They're not.
it's fine. But hey, but that's what I'm saying. They're not on WWE's level, and
They're not.
that's
But
arguable a little bit. But to me,
no.
you're
They're,
right. They're not. They're telling you though that
they
they're
they'll
double
tell
A,
you that.
single A, triple A.
They will tell you they're not on WWE's level. There's nothing wrong with being the minor leagues. There's nothing wrong with that. If you lead it well, there's nothing wrong with being the minor leagues.
Right. But does that ultimately bury a company from getting a TV deal and rights and all that stuff when TNA, let's just say, well, TNA's doing very well. They're doing very well in Canada. They got WWE spot in Canada. That's big. They're in a lot of households.
If you have the
Now,
WWE name attached to you, no matter how, that's going to help. It's going to
yeah,
help. They're
yeah, that's
pop.
true.
Dude, WWE's so hot right now. Look at those tickets for SummerSlam. I
Oh
think
yeah, they're ridiculous. Yeah. Um,
so.
but
Anyway,
supply and demand. Yeah,
anyway,
supply and demand.
we'll get to that.
Okay, so we've kind of gone over WWE, and Mania. Let's go over Raw after Mania.
Woo!
What a show that was. That felt like a reset button, didn't it? It felt like
It was
a
just
lot of
what a good pace. What a great pace. And you know what people are complaining? There was only 3 matches on the show. Fuck,
yeah, but
who
you set
cares?
up so many more
Wait, wait,
matches.
wait, wait, wait. Matches are on PLEs. Raw is for angles. That's what that's for. It's to build up to the match.
You're still getting them plenty of great matches on Raw and
Oh,
SmackDown as well, too.
that show was great, Raw. I loved Raw. What
Yeah,
a good
and
team.
also if you're in attendance and didn't have enough matches, well, you know what? You're there in history. You're taking place and seeing a faction form between Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman, and Seth Rollins, which got me back interested in Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins as a group. Yes, it felt forced that night. Now it is starting to feel a little bit more organic to me. To
But
me, it does.
also,
I'm getting flashbacks to the old Dangerous Alliance, one of my favorite factions ever.
let's see.
It was one of the first factions I saw when I first started watching wrestling. And I thought it's like, damn, this is such an unstoppable faction. They seem to just get away with victory after victory. These guys never lose. And then when they finally did lose, it meant a lot. And I'm telling you, I think that that's what they're trying to do here. I think they should add Becky Lynch. Everybody's been online. I think it should be Austin Theory. I think it should be this person, that person. I think it should be Becky Lynch. You can add an Austin Theory as well. But I
No,
love, I
it,
love all of this coming together as a group, and it's got me very much interested. And then talking about Raw after Mania, Cena and Orton, a match I never thought I would be interested again. I remember being so sick of seeing that matchup, so sick of seeing that feud. They got me back invested. I'm interested. I'm interested to see how they book themselves out of this. St. Louis, Missouri. Is Orton going to lose in his hometown, or is
yes.
Orton going to get that victory over John Cena?
No, no. Orton's gonna
Too early,
lose.
right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Orton's losing. Unless they have this in their head where Orton's gonna catch up somehow. And I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Maybe Orton wins the title and loses it, wins it back, loses it. Like, I don't see that happening. So I think he loses. I mean,
Mm.
way too soon. Way too soon.
Either way, it'll be very interesting. The
Oh
whole,
yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it. Yo, Orton's a beast, bro.
yeah,
Orton's a beast. That guy, he
especially
is
for his
just,
age.
my God, for his age, like that guy
And he
still has
started
years.
so early. He started so early. He's been in the company forever now.
It's like I saw him come out on Raw. I'm like, oh my God, just look at him above
Jack.
Cena. Like he's such a presence. He's so
Yeah.
believable. I like
Yeah.
believability. He's
Yeah.
very believable.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Um,
I'm looking forward to the match. I like the contrast of Cena as a heel and Orton the face this time. That never happened before.
yeah, Orton feels like more of like a badass face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like a who will do heelish shit. I'm interested in it. I'm interested in Backlash. I think that's going to be a great show. I
me
thought
too. I
Raw
think so.
after Mania might have been better than Raw Mania
I
overall.
agree. I agree. As
Um,
far as entertainment, I was more entertained with Raw, no doubt.
so many angles coming out of it. Just a lot of stuff in motion.
And that's what I wanted to
NXT.
say before. Just because there's no matches, there was a lot of physicality. Look at Gunther with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. You're getting physicality. Like, what the fuck do you want? I don't know. Sorry, excuse my language.
No. Look, going to a show, you're there. If you're pissed that you're not going to see more than 3 or 4 matches at a Raw or SmackDown,
Don't
simply a
go.
Raw because are usually shorter. Look at what's going down though. Can you say you were in the crowd the night Heyman formed his alliance with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker? I was there that night that happened. You get to say you were there that night. As a fan, look at it that way. If you want to go to a wrestling show to see nothing but great wrestling matches, then maybe you should go to an AEW or an indie show. You can
Absolutely.
get great wrestling anywhere. Anywhere. I watch MLW, great wrestling on it. NWA, great wrestling from time to time. Uh, WWE has great wrestling matches as well. Maybe not as many because they have angles, they have storylines, they have feuds to sell, storylines to sell, merch to sell. It's a big machine. It's not all about the match, is what I'm saying.
Wow.
Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. If you got a ticket, you're going to be seeing something storyline wise. If you're not getting a lot of matches on a Raw, you're going to see something go down.
To
Something
me, the
big go down.
match is the destination of the journey. You want to be on the journey. The journey is the best part. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Who gives a shit who wins a cold match? Right?
yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
All right. Whatever. All right. So we skip to Raw and SmackDown after Mania's, or a week after Mania. What did
About
you think of, as we're recording this on a Tuesday morning, what did you think of Raw last night?
um, uh, it wasn't bad. I thought it was very. Actually, I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a good show, but when you're coming off of last week,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
The
That.
follow up is always tough. I've noticed for just about any wrestling organization in the history of wrestling.
But a lot happened. A lot
Right.
happened when you think about it. Stuff happened to lead to the future. Becky Lynch happened. The Pat McAfee stuff. What
Oh,
else? I'm
wow.
trying to
That
think.
was a fiery promo saying the word motherfucker. And
So we had some stuff happen. That's what I'm saying. It
the
wasn't a bad
fucking,
show.
yeah. Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was a good show. I'm interested. To me, it felt like a little bit of a holding pattern because you have the draft coming up after Backlash. It was
Oh,
fine. There was
wh-
nothing, there was
what do
nothing
you?
on the show that just made me like, whoa. But there was nothing on the show that was like, this is fucking terrible.
No, no, no. You know who I love? I love Stephanie Vaquer.
I do too, man. I was thinking
Love
that
her.
too, man. And what a match she had on Raw.
I was watching Raw with my brother, and I said to him, I go, I've never seen somebody do nothing and have such a presence.
Yeah, such a presence. It's the facial expressions.
She does
Even
nothing.
just
No,
looking over at Chad Gable
she
and
does
then getting out
nothing.
and staring at him was like, damn, like she's got a presence about her. I
She just
agree.
walks out. There's no like movement, no playing to the crowd. It's very weird. She's intoxicating to me.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah, I know what
explain
you
it.
mean.
I
It's the
can't explain
facial
it.
expressions. I'm telling you. Just
She's
the
very
way she
real.
knows where to look at the camera and the faces to make, depending on the situation.
She's very
But
real.
yeah,
I like believability, man.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It comes off.
yeah.
She's
She does
very
seem
good.
like
I
a
love her.
badass, doesn't she?
She's a badass. I love her. Yeah, sorry, I just want to
I
put that out
agree.
there.
I agree. Um,
She's great. I love her. Love her
so
work.
it looks like we're getting especially if the draft happens soon, we were going to get Penta and Ray Phoenix, the Lucha Bros. You saw that teased on Raw
They need to get
with
together.
Penta giving him the kick to the gut, Chad Gable, and then saying something about the Lucha Bros. So I feel like they're going to be putting those guys together. It's nice that they got a small, brief singles run, and I hope they still get a lot of, a good amount of singles matches. But
Yeah,
but at the same time, man, they are an excellent tag team. Damn, they're a great
and
tag team.
Raw needs tag teams. SmackDown's stacked with tag teams. Raw needs them. I think they should really get together sooner than rather than later.
Yeah, so I guess Ray would get drafted to Raw. Yeah.
To me, you have to do that. They have nobody on Raw. There's no tag teams.
All right, we're coming to an end. So let's briefly talk about that stuff that's in the news that's relevant. I have wrote down here. How about the Karrion Cross promo that he cut post Mania, talking about trying to give the brass knuckles to AJ Styles to get the win against Logan Paul at Mania. AJ ultimately chose not to do that. And then he goes off on a fiery promo, which they're calling, kind of his version of the pipe bomb or whatever. Yeah, I know. I hate that term now too. Um, what did you think of it? It was the kind of the talk of the wrestling community in the last
No, look,
week.
he's doing a great job at getting himself over. Let's put that out there first. We have a chance to see a pure heel here. If they play their cards right, you have a chance to see a real good pure heel do his job. And I think he's good at this. I really do. If they could, I think you could capitalize on it. He's not likable. He's very
Yeah.
hateable, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a select, audience members that are going to dig his stuff and cheer for him though as well. Could become a very polarizing figure. I thought it was a great shoot style promo.
Yeah, it's a work shoot.
Great flow, great delivery, believability as well, and we'll see what comes of it. We'll see what they make of it. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
we'll
they
see.
do.
They got a lot going on right now, man. So where does that fit in all
Yeah,
this?
there's a
Who
lot
does he
going on.
feud with over this? Kind of interested in it, but I
There's a
don't
lot
know.
going
The
on.
follow up on something like this is what I'm more interested in.
Yeah, I don't
We
know.
got to wrap stuff up, so that brings us to our closing moment of the day or week, and that is the what the fuck moment of the week. It's back. Woo! WTF. And my WTF moment of the week is The Rock not being at Mania, then doing an interview and talking about why he wasn't at Mania. I'm not at Mania because it doesn't
I'm
need
over it.
me. It doesn't need me. Yes, it does. You started off this angle. You should
I
have been
agree.
at Mania in some form or fashion. Didn't matter if you just showed up on stage. Didn't matter what you did. You should have been there. And
Yeah, I'm over it.
Mr. Big Shot comes in when he wants to, when he has a failed movie, or when whatever's going on. And I love Dwayne Johnson, don't get me wrong, but he should have been there.
I agree. I
That's
agree.
that's my WTF moment of the week. Rock, you started off this angle. How can you be at Elimination Chamber and not be at Mania? You want to talk about low ticket sales? Is that the reason why you weren't at Mania? Come on, man. You're a wrestling fan. You know in your heart, you should have been there to close out that angle or to at least give it more.
Absolutely. He should have been there.
So that's
Mine,
my WTF moment of the week. I think everybody was looking forward to a final boss appearance in that main event, and they did not get that. I am one of them. Toaster, before we get out of here, what is your WTF moment of the week?
just that night one was suck compared to night two. Too lopsided. You got to book that better next year and the years after. It can't be so minor league. Not minor league. Sorry, we used that term before, but the undercards were all on the undercard and mid card were all on night one, except for the main event. And night two had all the above mid card and main eventers on it. You know, you got
Yeah.
to mix that up a little bit, in my eyes.
Yeah, spread it out a little bit, where both shows feel more solid, where it's not so
Yeah, yeah,
lopsided. I see what you're saying there. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's
That's it.
gonna wrap us up. Been a good week, man. We'll be
Yeah.
back next week. Hope no more construction on my house. As long as we stay healthy and nothing comes up,
Oh,
we'll be
Jesus,
back.
man.
Yeah, we'll be back. That's right. We'll be back next week. And remember to share, comment, do whatever you can to promote us because our victories, our success is your success. Toaster, thanks for joining me this week.
Why, thank you, sir.